Will The Rock return this Monday night at Raw 30? That is the question. We're discussing that and a lot more here on Topflyght Wrestling Podcast. Stay tuned for the takeoff. So welcome back to the show. This is your captain speaking, back for the very first time. This is our first official podcast. And with me today, I have my man Top Gun, and I also got my man Wingman. Say what's up to the people, man.
What's up, man? What's going on, man? Let's do this.
All right, man. So thank you guys for joining us today. You know, this is a little something for the audience, man. There's a lot of exciting things going on in wrestling this week. And one of the big major points that came about was on Monday Night Raw this past Monday night when Jimmy Uso and Jay Uso were inside the ring, and they were talking about the acknowledgement ceremony that's scheduled for this Monday night live in Philadelphia for the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. So the question that everybody has been asking is, will The Rock make his return to set up that long-awaited dream match between him and Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania? What are your thoughts? What do you believe? What's going to happen? That's what we're going to discuss today. We're also going to talk about the Royal Rumble. We're also going to talk about a little bit of the sale going on between WWE. Is it going to get sold? Is Vince McMahon still going to be, in the picture? Let's just hear everybody's thoughts. So I'm going to start with you, Top Gun. What do you think is going to happen this Monday night on Raw?
Oh, man. After doing some thinking, I believe it's three things that could possibly happen when it comes to this acknowledgement ceremony with the bloodline.
Right.
Number one, the bloodline will destroy Sami Zayn to send a message to Kevin Owens.
Oh, yes.
And I got that based off what happened last Friday.
Right.
Kevin Owens pulled a nice fast one on the bloodline.
Right.
Solo was there. The Usos were there.
No
of
Sammy.
Course, Paul Heyman was there in the corner.
But where's
Sammy?
Yeah.
Where's Sammy?
Sammy was doing the instructions of the tribal chief.
I agree, but I think that was a setup. I think that was a setup because I believe Roman Reigns wants to kick him out anyway. So if it happens this Monday, coming Monday, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
And plus, the tribal chief was embarrassed. So I think it's payback for Kevin Owens.
Okay.
And plus on the extra side, it was set up a good reason for if Sami Zayn was to betray the bloodline, it will be a good reason for him to actually team up with Kevin Owens now. Okay. But now either that or number two, the traditional things with ceremonies is your foe always ruins it. We can remember back with Edge and Kane ceremony, the wedding ceremony between Edge and Lita, right? Kane ruined it. So I believe maybe Kevin Owens will ruin the celebration somehow. We'll a fast one.
Okay.
Maybe attacking the bloodline.
Okay.
Or number three.
Well, there's another third one.
The Rock actually does return.
Okay.
Rock does return, and instead of it being an acknowledged Roman Reigns, it will be an embarrassing and humbling Roman Reigns. That's what I believe.
Wow. Okay, that's a good take. What about you, Wingman? What do you think is going to happen this Monday Night Raw? This Monday night on the Raw 30th anniversary as it pertains to the acknowledgement ceremony?
That's a good question. I think ever since Hunter took over, it's not that predictable, but at the same time it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because at first we thought Sammy was already going to betray, but it didn't happen. We've seen this where Roman Reigns starts his promo and we feel like, all of a sudden they're going to kick Sammy. We thought we were going to do Sammy same dirty. They give him a shirt, you know what I'm saying? Honorary what? Uso. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know, man. If you think about business-wise, I don't know if it's actually a good idea to turn on Sammy yet. So I just feel like there's something there. There's something we're missing. There's something up their sleeve. There's something that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Roman and Sammy have something going on planned, making it seem like okay, something wrong is about to happen. But you know what? Boom, Raw 30 comes. All of a sudden, boom, we're surprised. You know, I don't know. I just feel like there's something going on as far as The Rock, and I don't know, and I don't care.
Wow, you
I
don't
do
care
not
if The
care
Rock
for The Rock.
returns? Really?
I do not care if The Rock returns anymore. I don't.
Why is that? Why
I do not. Like, let this man make movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then like all the headlines he's making about you know how I guess like how he kills careers. It's just like I'm starting not to like the guy. You know what I mean?
Careers?
I don't know.
I haven't heard any highlights. I have not heard any headlines concerning that. This is the first time.
Have to Google that. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it going on, brother. There's a lot of it going on.
Well, let me say,
careers and franchises.
So let me.
You know what I mean? But I think real quick, just before, I just think if he were to come back, obviously it has to be this because the Usos right away made a hint. All the bloodline is going to come and acknowledge. And if they want to, I believe that the only way that they make that happen, that Roman actually loses is WrestleMania. And it looks like the Usos might even lose their titles because they're only putting, if I'm correct, the Raw titles on the line now.
Well,
so I don't know what they're setting up.
Yeah, this Monday night they're planning to go one-on-one with Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. So that's the plan going forward. We obviously know that Damian Priest and Rey Mysterio are not going to win that match. Okay. So just to your point, man, if I'm going to have to lean towards what Julian is saying, I do believe if there's one thing we know about Triple H is this: he's very, very cerebral. From everything that he's been building from the time that he took over around SummerSlam and Clash at the Castle and all those things like that. He's produced some of the greatest premium live events and of course some of the best TV. It took a while for Raw to get more relevant as opposed to SmackDown, but from what he's doing a heck of a job by keeping the fans pulled in and just drawn into what he's about to do next. As it relates to The Rock coming back on Monday Night Raw, from the reports that I have been seeing, that The Rock is saying himself that he may not have ample enough time to get in shape that he needs to get into before he can face Roman Reigns. However, that can also be a swerve, because how WWE can be. I mean, there was a time when the Hardy Boys were coming back around WrestleMania 33, and they were saying that they were in another organization, and they came back that very night at WrestleMania 33 to the amazing pop from the whole crowd, and who would have thunk it? They actually won the tag team titles. So, to Julian, to Top Gun's point, okay, I would say this, okay, Top Gun, you're right. I think The Rock would show up, okay, but he won't be live. I think it'll be by the Titantron. The reason why I'll say that is this, okay. I think that all the Usos of old, all the heads, every single person of the family, you're gonna see Rikishi there, Alpha, Sika, probably even the Tonga Kid if he's still alive and kicking and stuff over there. I think he's still alive, but maybe he'll show up. All the old heads from the NYE family are gonna be there. Okay, you probably even throw in Tamina because nobody's seen her in years. Exactly. So, exactly. No, they don't Tamina. Nobody's meaner than Tamina. She's 24/7 champ. 24/7 champ. The most irrelevant title in history. But she's the champ.
That title still exists.
I was thrown in the trash. Well, kind of. Anyway, so I think that I think KO crashes the party. I think that all the family is going to be in the ring acknowledging Roman all at the same time. But I think Kevin Owens, he crashes the party. But on top of that, he says, you know what? I couldn't help but notice that someone is, by the conspicuous absence, that someone is missing. A person that's truly the head of the table. And all of a sudden, KO points to the Titantron. All of a sudden, The Rock appears via satellite, and then he proceeds to run down the entire bloodline one by one. And I think that's going to be a a great segue to what can happen next Saturday at the Royal Rumble. Do I think The Rock will actually show up on Monday? No. I would actually say that he'll probably show up most likely at the Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant.
That's what I think as well too. Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up live. But I don't think the WWE will kind of spoil it like that for Monday. I really don't. I think they'll build that anticipation through The Rock via satellite, just so everybody can tune in to watch the Royal Rumble. Everybody's expecting Cody Rhodes to win. You know what I mean? So, getting back to that, how about your Royal Rumble predictions? How about that? Who do you think is going to win the 30-man and 30-woman over-the-top Royal Rumble match to punch their ticket to WrestleMania? We'll start with you, Top Gun.
Okay. See, the way I pick these my predictions is because me being a fan of WWE for so long, I love character development, you know, and certain characters stick with me, and also add a little bit of logic in there, like why would this person win? Not just because maybe they're a fan favorite. With the men Royal Rumble, it's pretty obvious to me. It's either going to be The Rock or it's going to be the Cody Rhodes. There was an idea of what if Sami Zayn won, seeing how there's been, you know, it's ever since the Bloodline came into this picture, right? It's been the whole focus. And I feel like it will be a pretty interesting scenario of what if Sami Zayn actually won? Like, you're supposed to be the honorary Uso. What are you going to do? Are you going to turn on the Bloodline? Or are you going to, you know, it's a lot of speculation of, you know, what could happen. You can speculate a lot with this, right?
Yeah.
But I believe the obvious winners would be either The Rock if he shows or Cody Rhodes. Because to me, they have the star power to actually bring down Roman Reigns. That's just me.
Is there anybody else that you would think would possibly win? I mean, those are the obvious two answers, you know. But
right.
Is there anybody else other than those two men? Do you think that's on the roster right now that is capable of winning the Royal Rumble?
Of course, you can talk about Bobby Lashley.
Okay,
that's one.
That's one.
I mean, I feel like he would. I wouldn't be mad if he won. You know, I already mentioned Sami Zayn, but I already know that it's not going to happen.
You never know.
Honestly, you never know, but still, I believe, other than those two, I believe it will be Bobby Lashley for sure, for the men's.
Okay. What about for the women?
When it comes to the women, for the women's, this is an easy pick for me. It's Rhea Ripley. It's Rhea Ripley. Oh my gosh. Hands down.
Okay.
Hands down.
No, hands down, no.
Okay, Wingman. Hands down. All right. Wingman, go ahead. Wingman, go ahead, man.
Hands down.
Spit your game. Spit your game.
Raquel Rodriguez is putting in work, bro. How you gonna Rodriguez? That girl getting jumped every week and getting up, man. Why? What you mean why? Putting in work. And I have a bigger chance too. Also, Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley would be third.
Alexa Bliss.
She's actually wrestling for the women's title.
Yeah, she's going to wrestle for the women's.
I know she's going to wrestle, but you know, sometimes they actually add them on there without us knowing. You know, so I'm just saying, if there's anything there, I see want her if she joins, maybe. But I do. I mean, I'm not saying Ripley ain't out the question. She's top 3 for me, but I really see. At least what I see is that they push Raquel Rodriguez in a big way, because it's like she's like a face, but she's just like she's her. I don't know. She's different, man.
So what do you think about what about the men's?
Cody Rhodes. I can't think of nobody else. And then it's gonna be The Rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Simple as that. It has to be one of those two. There's just no other way to put it. You know, Cody Rhodes has he came back. And after so many years, he's made it clear what he wants, you know, and I'm pretty sure that. What's up?
I'm listening.
No, I'm saying he made it really, really clear what he wants, and I believe that that he has a big shot. And like I said, unless The Rock comes back, I don't see anyone else. You know, I don't want to see McIntyre win again. I'm tired of him.
Nobody does.
You know, I like Bobby Trashy where he's at. You know, let him stay there. You know what I mean? You know,
Bobby Trashy, bro.
You know. Besides that, I mean, Sami Zayn really. I mean, I don't see him winning. You know, But I mean, I don't see anybody else, man. I don't.
Well, you know what?
That's my opinion.
You kind of took me for a spin there. But, as far as the women, start with the women's Royal Rumble, man. I think they haven't really built up this Royal Rumble for the women at all. I think the reports going in was that they wanted to see Charlotte Flair go one-on-one with Bianca Belair. I don't know why, Ronda Rousey dropped the title on SmackDown, but I think they kind of I think they kind of hinted that they're no longer interested in seeing, Becky Lynch go one-on-one with Ronda Rousey, because my initial thought would to be Becky Lynch win the Royal Rumble and then go off and face Ronda Rousey for the title at Mania, but it's lost its luster. You know what I mean? So now that Charlotte is the champion, the next best thing to see who would win the match, and I hope you guys are ready for this, which will probably be the biggest women's title match of all time, Bianca Belair. Let me count the ways. Yeah. Bianca Belair could win the women's Royal Rumble, because I think she's going to lose this next Saturday. I don't think she's going to win. I think Alexa Bliss, as she's coming into her own underneath that spell of Bray Wyatt, I think she's destined to win the title. Otherwise I would have been with you, Top Gun, when it comes to Rhea Ripley or maybe even Raquel Rodriguez. But I would have to lean towards Belair. Belair loses. She enters herself into the Women's Royal Rumble, and she ends up winning, and she challenges Charlotte Flair. Because if she fights Charlotte Flair, my God, between the two of them alone, they are the best women's wrestlers. I know Sasha Banks left, but between those two women, when it comes to athleticism, can you imagine the amazing match that they could produce at this WrestleMania that's going to be in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, California? So that's my take. I would have to pick Bianca Belair. I was going to do a video for fantasy booking, but I honestly think that, Bianca Belair may come out on top. And I think when it comes to the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania, that's a little bit harder to book if you're going to do that. Maybe Becky Lynch. I don't know. Triple threat match. Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley. I don't know. But I would really love to see, just for my own selfishness, I want to see Bianca Belair go one-on-one with Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Okay, so as it pertains to the Men's Royal Rumble, honestly, if you watch my fantasy booking, I stated the following. If you go back into 1994, Lex Luger and Bret the Hitman Hart both won the Royal Rumble because they both threw each other over the top rope simultaneously. Both of their feet touched the floor. If you're trying to split the titles up, which I think WWE really wants to do now, they want to have, Raw have its own world champion, and they want to have SmackDown to have its own universal champion. If you're going to split the titles up, why not have both Cody Rhodes and The Rock just basically do the same doggone scenario? I know what happened in 2005 with Batista and Cena, but then they restarted the match. Mainly because, Cena botched the finish. So they had to restart the match because Batista was solely supposed to win, so they had to restart it. That's when Vince McMahon marched down there and tore both of his quadriceps, which is the dumbest thing. On camera, man. You know what I'm saying? It's live TV, bro. Yeah. You tear your quadriceps power walking to the ring. But if you're gonna but just thinking about 1994, Lex Luger and Bret, their feet touched the floor. So if Cody Rhodes and The Rock are in the Rumble, if they're both in the Rumble, I can imagine WWE creating a scenario where both of them actually win. And on night one, Cody Rhodes faces Roman Reigns, wins the WWE Championship with the help of The Rock. And then on night two, The Rock faces Roman Reigns one-on-one, and he loses to Roman Reigns. So those are kind of the scenarios. And then I think, Top Gun, you threw in Sami Zayn. I didn't even think about Sami Zayn winning the Rumble. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that intrigues me. That intrigues me. But I don't know if Sami Zayn would win, because I know the report is that they want to see Sami Zayn go team up with Kevin Owens to take on the Usos and win those titles off of them. So, that's a possibility. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that The Rock is going to return, simply because when WWE is going to make a return for somebody, they always create new merchandise. Okay? So The Rock has new merchandise on WWE.com. He has new hoodies. So what the heck does that tell you? He's coming back. So, it's just a matter of time. He's going to show up, man. The Rock is going to show up this coming weekend. I'm pretty sure of it. He's going to show up, and he's most likely going to make a huge impact on the Royal Rumble. Okay? So with that being said, if you have been living under a rock, you know that Vince McMahon has been in some legal trouble. Okay, there are several accounts of him hiding hush money. Using hush money to hide his extramarital affairs, so to speak, which caused him to get to resign from his position back in July, but only to march his way back down to the ring in only Vince McMahon fashion that he can, to bulldoze his way back into his company, have his own daughter resign from the company that she loves, and I know she loves it, and to just basically hold his company hostage because he said that, hey, unless I'm involved with the sale of this company as it pertains to the new TV rights for USA Network and Fox, unless I'm involved with that, or even the sale of this company, if I'm not involved as chairman, I'm not gonna approve it, because he obviously holds I think it's 84% or 87% of the shares in the company. So he has the majority decision overall. So what do your guys take on that? The Saudi Arabia, has been said in the media that is likely a taker to buy WWE, Disney, and some other suitors. So who do you guys think? Are they going to sell the company? Even Tony Khan of AEW, the owner of AEW, has been mentioned. So do you think WWE is going to get sold? Do you think that it's just a power play from Vince McMahon just to get back his way back inside the company? What are you guys' thoughts?
Well, with me, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this. It was fairly new to me. But as I was really inquiring, I don't really know who's gonna buy it if it's sold. You can speculate a lot. You have Disney, you have AEW, you have maybe Fox will buy it, or USA Network, right? Maybe. But ultimately, if it is sold, I believe that the person or the company who buys it, I believe it should stay in the industry. Like, I wouldn't be mad if AEW bought it. I wouldn't be mad if Impact Wrestling bought it.
That's impossible.
Simply because
that's impossible.
I'm just saying, like now, I would love for Triple H and Stephanie to inherit the company, but apparently they don't have the funds for the transaction or whatnot. Yeah. That's just, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But the reason why I would want it to stay in the wrestling industry is because I don't believe like someone like Disney, like I don't want to get off into the beliefs and stuff like that they have. And I don't believe someone like Disney or some other entertainment industry, like business, can understand wrestling and what the fans truly want. I believe like someone like AEW that's like rising up, as a company, I believe I wouldn't be mad if they bought it because they understand wrestling. They understand what the fans want. They understand what the fans need, and I believe also whoever buys WWE from a business point of view, I believe would benefit that company. It would really benefit AEW to get that, because not only do you get a really strong company in WWE, you will also get, depending on what you plan to implement in the wrestling industries, you might get some of the partnerships that WWE have too, the sponsorships, like that can really help sustain that company like they helped sustain WWE during 2020 when COVID was hitting, when there had no fans. You know, so it's like, so I believe whoever buys the company, I would want them to understand wrestling. So I don't really know who, but that's just my opinion on that take right there.
Okay. What about you, Wingman? What are your thoughts?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know what Vince is pulling up his sleeve, man, because, you would think, okay, I'm going through some issues. I messed up. Let me get back. I'm going to retire. And then you see your kids just, wow, the ratings are going up. Wow, it's blowing up. Like, I'm proud of you guys. Nah, let me get back. Hey, baby girl, go home. Like, what? It made no sense to me,
Facts.
And for people to say, oh, well, Hunter's still, Hunter's still taking over the creative team. I'm just here for sales. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. And you know what I mean? And I've heard, I'm not too sure if it was true, a couple of wrestlers saying, if they sell it to this person or sell it to that person, I'm leaving, So it's like, man, it's a lot going on,
Yeah.
I really don't know too much on as far as like the sales or whatever, but Vince McMahon being back is bad, period.
Obviously.
That's all I got.
That is correct.
It's just bad, period.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
The individuals that you're referring to, as far as if they purchased the company that would actually walk out of the company, were Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and that's if the Saudi Arabians were to be the ones to purchase WWE. If you've noticed that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens do not go to those Saudi Arabia shows for the Greatest Royal Rumble, or what's the other one, Crown Jewel. Yeah. They don't go to either one of those because of how they disagree with the government, and also has to deal with the fact that Sami Zayn is Syrian, so he doesn't roll with the Saudi Arabians. Okay, so I do agree that Vince McMahon is bad for business. I think the last relevant thing that Vince McMahon actually did was sign Cody Rhodes. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the last relevant thing that Vince McMahon has done in this company. That and stepping away. Those are the two things, the last two things. When it comes to storylines, you can argue Bianca Belair, but the best storyline of Vince McMahon's storyline, like related to the Attitude Era and the other eras, I would say it's Kofi Mania, because he booked that whole thing. Okay, and we all know, and this is from my own opinion. When Kofi Kingston won the WWE Championship, that was the biggest WrestleMania moment for me. Being a black man, to see an African-born man win the WWE Championship, the namesake of the actual company, not the world title, but the WWE Championship. To see an African man do that was big for me. Okay, so that's like the last relevant storyline. So I don't think WWE should sell. I think it's a stupid idea to do that. I think that Vince McMahon should have allowed Stephanie to take over. He solves that. I think it's his ego. It's his ego. It's all about his ego. He can't stand the fact that someone is better than him than what he does. And if you think at Vince McMahon's, from his mindset, he's just like, oh, I created you, Triple H. I hired you from WCW or nothing,
Yeah.
And, in his own warped, distorted, and perverse mind, he believes that, and don't get me wrong, Vince McMahon is a genius, just not lately. He created this whole thing that we're talking about right now. When it comes to sports entertainment and just loving wrestling, it's because of Vince McMahon. But it comes a time where you got to take the old dog back to the shed and just, get rid of him. And I think Vince McMahon, he's had his days. This dude booked a golden egg on one of the biggest pay-per-views in his company, Survivor Series. The whole show was about a stupid golden egg from a fictional movie. What the hell is that? They had a battle royal and the winner got pizza. What?
Wow.
That is so stupid, irrelevant, and just nonsensical booking. It is foolish. And I look at what Triple H has accomplished. I mean, he has brought back some of the greatest talents that should have never been fired, with the exception of Braun Strowman. I still think Braun Strowman should be fired. He's just boring. You know,
I like him. Botch his first.
Yeah, I don't.
Fight back.
I think Braun should go back to powerlifting. I mean, this is much respect for the brother. You know, I got respect for Braun. I really do. I just don't think this is his era. I think he's more of the golden era when Hulk Hogan was around and, you know, Ultimate Warrior. I just don't think, you know, wrestling today is not really truly for the big man. You really have to have some skills in the ring these days. You really do have to have some skills. When I look at Braun Strowman, don't get me wrong, out of all the big men, Omos, you know, whoever, you know, he's up there. I mean, he's agile. I mean, I've seen this dude do a drop kick off the top of the ropes, you know. So, I mean, it's not like Braun Strowman doesn't have any athleticism. It's just that I don't think he fits when it comes to today's wrestling, you know. And anyways, so if they were going to sell, I agree with Top Gun. I think that AEW, but on one condition. Tony Khan can no longer be in creative. Here's why I say that.
Yeah.
Tony Khan is like the guy who has so many toys he doesn't know how to play with. He doesn't know what to do with all the things that he's been accumulating over the years. For instance, we all know and love Rusev, okay? Where the heck has he been? You know?
Yeah.
First the reports, you know, he's injured, but then you don't have nothing for him creative-wise. You know, I don't know. You know, Keith Lee, you know, he had a lackluster storyline right now with Swerve. You know, they were tag team champions. Don't get me wrong, they were good tag team champions. But you know, is that the best you can do for a big talent like Keith Lee? But and it's also angered some of the AEW faithfuls. Like, you know, where's Powerhouse Hobbs? I know they're trying to rebuild him again, but you know, he's Powerhouse Hobbs for God's sakes. You know, where is Scorpio Sky? Is he injured? You know. There's so many different guys that Tony Khan has kind of put to the wayside in place of some of these AEW faithful, you know, and I think that was the biggest problem when it comes to CM Punk. But, you know, if Tony Khan, you know, was able to and he has the money. I mean, he owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, he has money. His father has money. That whole family has serious bread. Then I would want to see him kind of step aside when it comes to creative and let Triple H take over. You know, I wouldn't want the brands to merge together. I think that would be foolish. But at the same time, I don't think it will make sense, and I honestly don't believe in the right mind of Vince McMahon, he will let his competition purchase his company. That to him would be an ultimate defeat. And knowing the ego of Vince McMahon, he's not going to allow that to happen. He's going to refuse for that to happen. He's not going to let that. That's like, what if Eric Bischoff back in the 90s, you know, Monday Night Wars, what if he said, you know, I'm going to capitulate and I'm going to rescind and I'm going to say, okay, go ahead. Hey, you know, you defeated me. Can you see Vince McMahon doing that? Hell no. Vince McMahon,
we got to do what's right for the people, man.
He will not do that.
I agree. I agree, but we gotta do what's right for the fans.
He would never do that, man. So, but I don't think they should sell. I know they've been talking about it for a while. I don't know why he wants to sell. I know his relationship with Shane McMahon is not on good terms. You know, his relationship with Stephanie could be rocky or shake. I don't know, but it's time for him to just pass the ball to either Triple H. Or Stephanie or Nick Khan or somebody who actually knows what they're doing with the company. That's just my take on it.
Yes, sir. I believe agree, man.
Okay,
I agree with you.
I
think he needs to really he needs to leave, man. Simple as that. Ain't no other way.
Yeah. Everybody's cringing at the fact that Vince McMahon could actually still be here after all these years, even after all this nonsensical booking. What do you got to say, Top?
Man, honestly, I was surprised when he came back. I was surprised when Vince McMahon came back. I thought it was over. One time, his man said he's retired. Now he's done. Now he's back.
Yeah.
So my response would be is like, well, why? Like, I don't even know where all this came from. Like, from WWE being sold, I don't know why. From Vince McMahon retiring, obviously I know why he had to step down, but why come back? Like, what would be the purpose? Like he was just talking about, like, his pride.
Ego.
He can't stand to see his ego. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
He can't stand to see that the company's doing well without him.
Exactly.
I mean, is it really about like you, or is it about the fans? Because you can't deny that ever since the creative team has changed,
Right.
Triple H has been more of had more influence, that things have gotten a lot better. Things aren't stale, things aren't repetitive, things aren't less predictable. You actually want to watch the show again.
Right.
It would never be as good as the Attitude Era. I'm just saying, I'm sorry. But it could be a good runner up now. But I think it would be best if they had a board meeting, or maybe a private meeting first, with just the family, because I think this is a family issue, in my opinion. And they really discuss some things, mend some relationships if need be, and Vince McMahon leaves in a healthy way, and just pass the torch. I think it's time to pass the torch. And then they have a board meeting and, kind of go from there. But Vince McMahon most definitely should step down, I believe.
Yeah. It's not going to be an immediate purchase. I mean, it takes time with a company this big. It's obviously a multi-billion-dollar company. It's no questioning that. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. Things like this has to take time because, of course, the shareholders. It is a public company. I think the whole line about it when it comes to why they want to sell it, honestly believe because Vince McMahon wants it to be a private company, so no one else has power over him. And that's just how Vince McMahon is. He is ego-driven. He is controlling. That's who he is. That's Vince McMahon, and that's all it's ever going to be when it comes to this guy. I've heard even guys say that, Vince McMahon would die before he actually retires from. So I wasn't surprised that he made his way back. I was upset, but I mean, of course, he's back, and that's unless somebody puts a bullet in his head, which is probably not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Or unless he has some kind of sickness or something like this, I don't think that he's going to leave anytime soon. Even if he did have a sickness, and even if he did get a bullet in his brain, he's still not going to let it go.
I mean, we're talking about
no
chance. God, man, this man defeated God on national TV. I don't know how that happened.
Vince comes back. And Stephanie had no chance. I'm telling you, boy.
He can't even take a Stone Cold Stunner anymore. But hey, all right. Any final thoughts about what you think is going to happen this Monday night in Philadelphia for Raw 30?
It's going to be a good show, man. It's been the last 2 months. It's been good. It's been, you're like, okay, I'm back to being a WWE fan,
Right.
You know me, I'm not an AEW fan. I don't really care about them, People go over there and get fat, I don't care. They're just not interesting. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? But I understand that people were like, oh, WWE sucks right now, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did. Ever since Hunter took it back, man, it's exciting. It's exciting to see the World Rumble again. I'm excited,
Yeah.
Even with all the predictions, we might not even be right. Who knows? So that's what I like right now is that we have that edge back in there. That okay, let's watch this. Let's sit down and let's relax, let's chill. Let's see what Hunter's got in store. I'm excited, man. See what this weekend got going on.
What about you, Top Gun?
I'm actually looking forward for two things. besides the acknowledgement ceremony, I'm looking forward to seeing what theme song they're gonna put. If they're gonna keep the same one, or they're gonna have a mixture. Mm-hmm. But I hope they bring back the I believe it was the 2006 theme song. It was a 2002 to 2006 theme song. Yes,
Across the Nation.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the best. That was the best theme song for Monday Night Raw. Yes, it was.
I would love for them to bring that theme song back. Just for one night, just for me to relive my childhood. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
That's just me. But I'm also looking forward to the returns. Because when Raw and SmackDown have these anniversary shows, it's always good to relive some good old days. The entertaining days. So I'm looking forward to see who they're going to actually bring back. What memories they're going to pick. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to. I'm not just because I'm excited about the match, just to see what they're going to do. Are they going to have a team like the Judgment Day?
Yeah.
Beat the Usos?
That's
the Usos.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, I just, like, I'm just looking forward to
if, you know what? If the Judgment Day were to win, which I guarantee it's not going to happen. But if they were to win, it would probably be for Dominic Mysterio to have the luxury to go backstage during the Royal Rumble premium live event and just berate his father that he's a loser because he's scheduled to fight Karrion Kross next Friday, okay, on SmackDown. I think it was supposed to be scheduled for the Royal Rumble, but they moved it to SmackDown. So it would only be because Rey Mysterio is not going to be no Karrion Kross. If he does, I would be extremely surprised. But to build up the WrestleMania match between Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio, if they were going to let the Judgment Day win, and I honestly do not like that group. I think it
sucks. The only relevant one is Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley's relevant. I do like how Corey Graves is putting over Dominic Mysterio. It is so hilarious. It is hilarious. The stupid things that he says about Dominic Mysterio is hilarious.
He's been in jail.
Yeah, so he's only been in jail for a couple of hours. So, but
you know what? This is real quick. Was how his mic skills suck.
Who?
Dominic Mysterio is just a kid, man.
Dude, it don't matter, bro.
Dominic doesn't even look like a wrestler, man. He doesn't lift weights. He's not believable.
And so
the boy is confused. He thought he went to prison.
That's what I'm saying. When he was speaking to the Usos, it's like the Usos knew, hey, bro, you're not cutting it. Let me take you to the penitentiary. Yeah. I was like,
right.
Oh my God, I don't know what to do there.
But you know what? Compared to what he was when he first started, I think Dominic has come along a lot more. I think he needs to work on his in-ring ability and, of course, his physique. He doesn't look like a credible wrestler, in my opinion. It sucks if Michael Cole has a better body than you do.
Wow.
And that's coming from me. I can't stand Michael Cole. During the budget cuts, I was hoping they would fire this bastard, but they kept him on.
What?
He's the most annoying piece of trash in WWE. The one thing that I'm happy that I don't have to hear anymore, it's boss time. I'm happy. I don't have to hear that anymore. I mean, I believe Sasha Banks will come back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in a couple of years. Yeah. But damn, man, I got so sick and tired, and now we got it's fight night. Oh God, I just got to deal with that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, to his credit, that fool works out. You know what I mean? If guys like even Angelo Dawkins, man, I give credit to that dude. That dude he's lost a ton of weight. He's lost a ton of weight. He looks, I think he started hearing that chirp about Montez Ford should branch off and go on his own. He eventually will be a WWE champion. Mm-hmm. I still believe that's true. But I think that got to him. Yeah. And he's like, man, I'm about to go to this gym. I'm about to show y'all something. So he's improved and stepped up his game in the ring. So I appreciate that. And I believe that, Angelo Dawkins, he has a very bright future in WWE. And one thing Top Gun brought up to me, just on the side note before we close, he asked me, do I think that the Street Profits would walk alongside of the new forming? It seems like the reforming of the Hurt Business. And honestly, I don't see that dynamic working together unless MVP decides to kick out Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin and decides to roll with the Profits. I don't even think the Profits need MVP because they have enough swag on their own to just be relevant on their own. But I wanted to get you guys' comments on that particular subject.
Well, I mean, it was just a thought, really. I think it would be interesting because what's going on with the Street Profits nowadays, you know? Now, I know they had that big win last week, I believe. Yeah. But still, like, I just feel like
they're kind of on the back burner.
They need like I'm sorry?
They're on the back burner is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I just feel like they need like a little bit more. I just feel like they need another push, you know, a new storyline. Of course. Maybe a new run. Maybe that can open up a new door to the tag team titles.
Yeah.
You know, if and when the Usos drop the titles, you know, later on.
That I agree with.
So I just, you know, so that's kind of like how would it happen? You know, they've been a face for so long. I would like to see them run as a heel, you know, just to see how they do. You know, because typically the major stars in WWE, they played both roles once upon a time, except John Cena. So I think John Cena was more of a heel too before, but still, like I just wanted to see how they would do playing the heel role.
Right.
Maybe they'll be better as a heel than a face. Just never know. So.
Okay. What about you, Wingman?
Not interested.
Wow. And just like that.
Just like that.
So,
the Street Profits be the Street Profits. That's it.
Exactly.
The Hurt Business, how many times has the Hurt Business reunited?
This will be the first time.
Like
3 times?
One.
This will probably be the first time.
Why did he reunite the second time? There was make no sense.
Well,
I think Street Profits doing that would just I don't know. It's not good for them. It's not good business.
Yeah, I think it comes from the premise that nobody wanted the Hurt Business to break up in the first place. You know,
that's true.
I honestly don't believe Bobby Lashley needs the Hurt Business, but you gotta admit they made him relevant. You know that
he did make him relevant.
Bobby Lashley came back. You know, he was the stupid storylines that Vince McMahon put together was with versus Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn brought Bobby Lashley's sisters out there, and that's the kind of crap he was in with Leo Rush. You know, God bless Leo Rush. Leo Rush is one of the most talented individuals, but they belittled Leo, man. You know, Leo was doing the hype man for Bobby Lashley that didn't exercise Leo's talents. They didn't recognize him for who he was. You know, I know he had a lot of issues with people in the back, did Leo, but I mean, at the end of the day, a hype man, you know, the person that Bobby Lashley should have always been with was MVP. Because if you look back at the Impact Wrestling days, they had their own dynamic over there, and they had I think it's called the Beatdown Clique. You know, and I think Samoa Joe was a part of their group. You know, if I'm not mistaken, and I think the other person that was a part of it was Low Key. You know, AKA Koval from NXT, the old WWE days of NXT before Triple H took over it. So, I mean, I don't think Bobby Lashley at this point needs the Hurt Business. Omos, man, I know he's an African brother. You know, he's a brother, you know, from the motherland. But it's time for you to go, bro. It's time for you to go, bro. You haven't improved in the ring. You don't have any relevant moves. Your character is
big.
You're just big, and at this particular point, fans, they want to see matches. They want to see stories being told in the ring rather than some big guy throwing you around like it's 1984, you know, back in the days of Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan. You know, nobody wants to see that anymore. You know, everybody wants to see, high flying technical wrestling, things like that. They want to see that type of wrestling, But shout out to the Viking Raiders, who are big, but those brothers can move. So last thing before we close, I just want to get you guys predictions as far as who could possibly be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. Go.
Ooh, man, it's always the surprise. Randy Orton.
Nah.
Man, you took mine.
Orton's not coming back.
I was gonna say Randy Orton.
I don't think Orton's coming back, man. He's too injured. He's got back injuries. He's not coming back. My guess would have been Big E, but I saw his post. Big E said he's not going to get. He has to wait till a year before he can get his neck reevaluated. So I would have said Big E until he actually made that post. But who else did you say?
No, I think I only said Randy Orton, but I'll depending on how. I'm not sure the update on Matt Riddle.
Yeah,
Matt Riddle situation. I know he filled his. Okay, I'm not sure. Maybe if he would be a surprise entry.
Okay.
It has to be someone. It has to be someone that we are excited to see. Someone that we were excited to see before they had to take a pause for for various reasons. And I would like to see him back. I think that'd be a good surprise.
I don't enjoy old people coming back. It's big deal. I don't know. It's like, ooh, okay, cool. But he's not gonna. This is only for that night. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. But I did want to add. I haven't really. I thought of him winning too. I don't know why.
Ooh.
But I did want to say, if besides Cody Rhodes and The Rock, I want to say AJ.
AJ?
Yeah.
AJ just went down with an injury, man. Ankle injury.
I know he did, but I feel like there was something going on, because I know there was like a little rumble with the bloodline, whatever, and I felt like they might want to have to push him, but I feel like if he wasn't hurt or anything, I feel like he would have been another guy that could have won it, because he hasn't been up there in a while, and he's kind of like, I could tell, pushing himself to do that,
Yeah.
But I didn't even realize he was injured.
Yeah, I would have picked AJ. Had it not been for Cody Rhodes coming back. Cody Rhodes, he changed the game. I would have thought that in 2023, of course, AJ Styles would have won the Royal Rumble. But since Cody Rhodes came back, I think Cody is just like he's that guy. I mean, the story is there. You have two dominant families, the Anoa'i family and the Rhodes family, two dominant families in wrestling. You've seen the Anoa'i family succeed, whereas the Rhodes family, they never really won the big one. So there's that dynamic there. As far as surprises for the predictions, I would say Dragon Lee, who just got signed. If you haven't heard of Dragon Lee, for those of you who are listening out there, go out there and watch this man wrestle. Not just his highlights. Go back and watch this man wrestle. This dude is something else. This guy is next level, and there's a reason why WWE signed him. His brother is Roosh in AEW. That's his brother, okay? But this guy, he's just on another level, is Dragon Lee. As far as another surprise entrant, I think Edge is coming back. Edge has been gone for a while. He's on his I think he's on his retirement tour, so to speak. I think this year will be the last year you'll see Edge wrestle in a wrestling ring. I think Edge will make his return next Saturday at the Royal Rumble, to set something up with Finn Balor again, which nobody wants to see. But it sets something up with Finn Balor again. And then I think the other person that I think that will come back, and I hope you guys are ready for this. Are you ready? Tell me when you're ready.
You do.
Pat McAfee. Oh yeah. I think Pat McAfee, man. Pat McAfee comes and he makes his Royal Rumble debut. He goes out there. Obviously, he's not going to stay in there very long, but he's been off TV because he's been doing College Game Day. Obviously, College football is over with, but how could you reinsert Pat McAfee back into the fold? Put him in the Royal Rumble, baby. Put him in the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for Top Flight Wrestling Podcast. We're gonna do another one like these in the future for sure. Just make sure you guys continue to keep clicking on the content. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We want to hear your guys' thoughts on what's gonna happen at the 2023 Royal Rumble. Remember, the Who Would Have Won series is still going. I put the first video up, but because of copyright issues, they took it down. I've put it up there at least 11 times. You know, I've counted 11 times, and I've made adjustments and changes to it, you know, over the time. But unfortunately, you know, YouTube just kept taking it down. So I'm still working on part 2. For those of you guys wondering, when the heck is part 2 coming out? It takes a while to do this type of stuff, especially when they do it with relevance and, of course, with other things going on in life. But nonetheless, continue to look out for the content. Make sure you go on our Instagram, Topflight_wrestling. That's Top Flight with a Y instead of the I. Topflight_wrestling on the IG page. Make sure you follow us on IG. We're going to put more wrestling content and news out for you guys. We thank you guys for listening. Make sure you remember to always love God, love wrestling, and stay fly. Peace.